Your boy Dustin from the Flying Chairs, the Rise podcast, and today, oh shit, you won't believe it, I got Kara back here with me for the second time, and it's like been a while since you've been on our show. I'm getting all these old guests back on just to recap on what's going on in their lives, and you're a busy girl in general. It's like, I think last time we chit-chatted, you were going on tons of ghost hunts and other stuff, and besides the ghost stuff, you're obviously a UFO enthusiast too, and there's been a lot of craziness in the news with UFOs and with this comet or mothership that, again, there's been kind of disappeared after. I get mixed reviews of what happened after it went past the sun. I heard it went.
I am kind of dying to talk about that because we could.
Let's go down the rabbit hole down that way too. So
yeah.
All right. Hey, tell me about your summer. How did it go? Did you go on some cool investigations? Did you just took a little break from all that, or just tell me what happened? And yeah, you gotta tell me
I crammed in all of the above. So so there was tons of fun. I discovered, I'm going to totally credit my friend and castmate on our show History Alive, Amelia Cotter. She lives in the city, and she told me about bottomless mimosas at the Tiki Hut. So we discovered that. I discovered that. She knew about it. So summer was definitely some trips to bottomless mimosas. You know what? There is nothing better than you take the train to the city and you just walk to the river and you hang out with some of your best friends and kind of race how many bottomless mimosas you could drink in 2 hours and just go about the city. So some of the best Saturdays ever, doing that. Not every Saturday, I wish, but so I managed to fit in just frivolous, ridiculous fun. One of the trips we ended up swimming in the lake when we were not wearing bathing suits, but that's fine. It was good and, easy to dry. We were wearing clothes, but it was supposed to rain and we were still going to go do this. So we on purpose wore clothes that could get wet and it's not going to be miserable, right? There's clothes like that in the summer. And we were like, why not? So went swimming. And that was fine. It was fine. And then we didn't get home till probably midnight on each of our trains home, our trips home. And that lake sand is very fine sand you find later in all of your clothes. So there was that. That was super fun. And we did sneak in my favorite, the biggest trip for ghost hunting and stuff was we went to Jonesville Rest Home in Jonesville, Kentucky.
Oh. Cool.
I couldn't even tell you, it's kind of between Lexington and Louisville, but I didn't drive. So I'm a little spoiled, but and then I ended up there. It was a hot, sweaty weekend. And then it was also very hot then in Kentucky, and hotels were kind of far away. And I said, you know what? No, I'm going to stay. So I stayed, me and Jamie, one of our castmates, we brought camping cots and we stayed at this rest home. Everybody else went to hotels, but we stayed 2 nights. We stayed there. When everybody kind of started saying, no, I'm going to go to a hotel. No, I'm going to go to a hotel. I was like, oh no, I'm not going to be alone because the door doesn't lock actually. They lock it from the outside, and they didn't do that because we were in there. And it's probably very safe, but I am such a city girl, and there's houses. It's not literally middle of nowhere, but it feels like middle of nowhere, Kentucky. And so I was like, oh God. So at least Jamie was there too. But that was a cool experience, getting to actually spend time there. So that was 2 whole nights, and then a full day, and then the 2 travel days around it. So that was the coolest. So we got to do that for the show. What else? I was kind of boring. It was school, a lot of school, all summer. But
what are you studying in school?
I almost am done with my master's nursing executive concentration.
Oh, good for you! Congratulations.
Thank you. Not to be a practitioner, but to do all the HR and financial stuff and everything. Cool. Yeah. So that's my jam, and so that will be done soon. I went to Long Island to go to Connecticut.
Okay.
Shannon Collins is one of my friends. She's the horror hostess with the Ghostess, and she's also with Paraflix. And so she lives
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Long Island, and she was doing a Paracon in Connecticut. And they had asked me like earlier in the year, "Do you want to come?" I was like, "I'm not coming to Connecticut. Like that's crazy. I'm in the Chicago area. That's crazy. I'm not like, no, I'm not doing all that." And then we realized after we were in Wisconsin together, Shannon was there, and we were there for a Paracon. I was like, what if I fly to on Long Island, and then we go together? And so we're like, that sounds amazing. So I was never on Long Island. If I was in Connecticut, I don't remember, but we took the ferry from Long Island to Connecticut. So I'm obsessed with that. Like I could just live on that ferry. Not really, but probably I could. Love it so much. I was just obsessed with it. And we got to go,
How long of a
do
ride is that?
some, it's like an hour
Was it?
only. Like
Okay.
it's just like apparently people commute doing this, and it's
Oh,
like I guess but no, it was great because it's not that far from our house. And I mean, I don't know, when you're traveling, like nothing seems that far and it's all
sure,
exciting
sure.
and fun. She could
Hmm.
have driven me 3 hours and I'd be like, not that far. And then so we go, so I don't even know. And then we go, you just go on the ferry and then you just like hang out and it's so cool. I loved it so much because I don't live in New England. So it's really fun to go
Sure.
do that different stuff. And
Hmm.
then you're in Connecticut and then you're like in mountains all of a sudden. And I understand that that's what happens. I understand that that's Connecticut, but I was still so tripped out by it.
Sure.
Unfortunately, like on our way back to the ferry leaving Connecticut, we're passing a cemetery and everything's so old there, right? And I was just like, oh my God, I want to go there. But like there was no time. So we didn't get to do that. And then we went to Kings Park when we were there, got to run around there before sunset. And so that was really cool.
Wow.
So that was cool to be able to do that. And then eventually I had to come home. More recently, let's just talk about like my summer with Shannon. Then we went to the Paracon in Rock Island, the Rock Island Esoteric Expo. She flew in for that, so I got
Oh,
to. So then we get to like, then we get to show each other around like our town. So she flew into Midway, and I got to take her, into Chicago and hang
that's
out.
so awesome.
So that was cool. Like because she flew in super early and I was like, I don't know what we're gonna do for all like that's so early. And then I was like, oh, perfect. So like we touristed it. We went to Navy Pier, we went to the Bean, walked around and she got to see the stuff in the lake. And the lake I've never seen the lake like calmer. And she was like, oh, like kind of confused. I was like, no, usually it's pretty like waves and churny, but today it was a very calm day on the lake. There was no wind. It was crazy. So she got to see everything like that. And then we headed out to Moline, Illinois, and that was an amazing Paracon. I'm so glad we got to go. We saw Annabelle, the Warrens Traveling Museum was there. So that was really cool. That was a very cool day and trip. And then we got to go to caves in Maquoketa, Iowa. Who knew they were going to be so amazing?
Really?
So then like Amelia, who told me about the tiki hut bottomless mimosa, she said, well, we're going to go to the caves. Like her and her husband did
Whoa.
not stay with all of us. We didn't see them. We were always probably like a half hour behind them. And, not on purpose, but we never met up with them at the caves. And we're like, okay, fine, we'll go to the caves too. That's something to do before it's time to head back to
Hmm.
Chicago, right? The coolest experience ever. I want to go to these caves all the time now. So we went to the caves because you don't pay like, normal caves like Cave of the Mountains in Wisconsin or Mammoth
Right,
Caves.
right.
You pay to get in and it's a tour. You walk around. No, you just go to the caves. You can climb around and stuff. You can climb up
Whoa.
into stuff. I'm like, this is so dangerous, but it's so
Yeah.
cool. Like,
Oh
and
man.
people just go. They're like just walking their dog. Like, it's the coolest thing. And you can just like go through these caves. And it's not like extensive. It's not Mammoth Cave, but like you're in the cave. I highly recommend. Sorry if anybody in Maquoketa is like, shh, don't tell the whole world about this, but everybody would love
Yeah.
it. So,
So I
like,
heard the Mammoth Cave is just like endless. Like
yeah,
they haven't gone to the bottom of it. And I
no,
think it might be of an entrance to the hollow earth, or
so
extraterrestrials using this shit.
I love caves. Like, caves are like my favorite thing, like underground. I love it so
Yeah,
much, but
yeah.
caves are the best. I love Mammoth Cave. I am obsessed with it. I could go there all the time and I would be thrilled. Like once a year, I would be like, it's still not enough. So I love, love, love caves and I love Mammoth Cave. So the funny thing, my mom even said as I was going on this trip to Moline, she's like, too bad there's no caves or anything because she knows I love caves. I ended up in caves. So yeah, Makokura is not extensive like that. Like it's definitely not Mammoth Cave, but there's enough cave to make it fun and nobody's telling you what to do there. You can just climb, you can do stuff, you could hurt yourself. Like it's nobody's stopping you, you know, so it's pretty cool. Highly recommend. And because I'm not used to that, everything usually has like perfect like boundaries and fences and tour guides, and that's not what this is. So
Yes.
we got to do
Well, I just thought
that.
there's a long history of underground extraterrestrials. We
Yes.
talk about the
I,
reptilians and we talk about the ant people
yes.
of the Hopi. You know, like when there was two cataclysms on Earth, the Kachina led them to the ant people that were very indigenous, or actually were very had a lot of technology and had the knowledge of food storage that they taught to the Hopi after their, it's it's important to stock up on food and able to grow plants indoors and stuff like that. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
really cool shit hearing all these cool and then there's another story too. I think LA, there's a guy back in like the I don't know if it was the 40s or 50s where he discovered there's tunnels underneath LA. And you think there's like lizard people living down there and shit.
Oh,
Like, yeah.
I mean, I feel like people would agree if there's any place there's lizard people, it would be LA, right? Like, isn't that
Yeah.
like on the Hollywood,
And
like,
then there's that whistleblower, Phil Schneider or some shit. I don't know his last name. Maybe he talked about like there's military guys going down deep tunnels and holes and caves and running into bad ETs where they actually have like
oh,
fights and gunfights and
wow,
these aliens would die. He's had this one experience where he shot a few of them and this one alien was hurt and he started rubbing his chest and a blue beam shot out and
no,
split him open like a fish and all his fingers are gone. There's a clean cut, and then his friend threw him on the elevator to get back up, and his friend died doing this. And yeah, he goes out and telling his story, and then he ends up dead in a hotel room on one of his tours of talking. 'Cause, it's like something tied around his throat. He couldn't
oh.
commit suicide because he had no fucking fingers. I don't understand that. To tie a rope.
And well, and why would you kill yourself?
Yeah,
You're
why'd
out
you kill
telling your
yourself?
story. Like, you wouldn't kill yourself
He's got a
there. That's
daughter.
not reasonable.
He has a
Yeah.
family too, so it's another reason why you wouldn't. So yeah, his daughter's really
Hmm.
upset about this well
Obviously, they had to stop him.
like the guy who invented the car that ran on water. You heard about that guy?
Mhm.
Yeah, like the same
Yeah,
dealie. Like before he got
you got to end
patent,
it.
he was at like a Cracker Barrel and some dude to meet up with somebody and they poisoned him and he's like
Cracker
running out
Barrel.
like, oh, I got poisoned and he like foamed at the mouth and died.
Because we can't have this stuff getting out. No, you cannot. So no, I no. And maybe that's why I like caves too. I don't know what it like.
Mm.
I am such a fan. Like I just feel like things are okay in a cave. So yeah, no, that's so yeah,
Well, that's
we're gonna have to
where
find out.
I think that's where a lot of us smart people are going to be going when nuclear war is going to be happening. And I'll be going straight to the Blue Mounds.
We're
That's,
all gonna be cramming in. Like
or
there's whew,
if like the Mammoth Cave is endless, I bet they could fit the whole United States in it.
I don't think, but it's not like roomy. It just keeps like
Oh,
it's
it
not
gets
that like it gets little.
okay,
There are big
okay.
rooms though,
I keep
but it
imagining it's
gets
just like just
no.
humongous.
No,
Okay,
it's very, very long. Like, and
right.
there are there's very big spaces there, but we couldn't all fit. A lot of us could fit. So yeah, no, and then coming up, the adventures continue. We're gonna start filming for my Paraflix talk show again. We are releasing oh my God, is it season 3 right now? Do I ever
Oh, cool.
remember? I think it's season 3 is releasing right now. Season 4 is gonna start, and then I'm gonna head to Salem really soon for another go land at LaGuardia and go to a Paracon for a day. So I get to go to Salem and with
Wow.
Shannon.
Oh, Jesus
That's
Christ.
so
Okay.
that's how we get to hang out, like because we live so far apart. And I was like, wow, what a nice way to. So I fly out on a Friday, fly back on a Monday, and then I have Days of the Dead. That's after that. So in Rosemont, Illinois, Like it's a horror con with a paranormal
You
featured
live
stuff.
life to the fullest. That
I
is so
sure
awesome.
do.
Like that is so awesome. And just like one thing after another, and it's just
Yeah,
and you have all these friends in this community, and everywhere you go, you have like this awesome following. That's what I love
it's
about you
super
too.
fun.
It's super awesome, and then the fact that we have a mutual friend, Jack.
Yeah,
He's very awesome. Again, I like to
love
have
him.
you two on my show together. And I saw that you were on his show
I
recently.
was.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
his little setup. It is really fun.
Yeah, I had such he's I gotta say, like it was so funny because I always say like, oh man, I should like go watch it. Who knows what I said on it because he's so good. He like I think I if I didn't tell him afterwards I should, but he's just like so good at just asking questions and I'll say anything to anybody anyway, but like by the end I was like, I don't know what I said here. Like, oh my God. I hope nothing horrible or embarrassing because he's just like so good like
Yeah,
at asking questions.
yeah.
And that's
He's
I don't want to say it surprised me, but I talked to him in real life. So then I was like,
yes,
oh.
yes. And no, he's such a great storyteller, and he's got so much information, and he stores that all in his brain. Again, it's hard to keep these names right and the dates right, and like, I mean, you really need to be the one, I guess, prepare yourself on a subject and then really get into it. Again, I don't know, like. I can only do like a handful of the ones that I find really interesting, like that's why I like dive into or go back on. But I'm not gonna share any because I probably said it 1,000 times. I'm up to almost 300 episodes. I think you're gonna be my
Oh my
200,
God.
299th
Wow.
episode.
That's actually a cool number. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's so hard. I always say, like, out of my friends, like, I am not like the historian. I'm not, there's a lot of things I'm not like, but definitely I had to laugh, Jack, like that you're saying, like, oh, he knows this stuff. We were in Rock Island and somebody brought up a question about something in kind of like the Archer Triangle, like by us, which is like Resurrection Cemetery, all these things. And Jack definitely knows all of that very well. I was like, we're going to phone a friend. Like, I definitely texted him. I was like, you'll know if anybody's going to know. And it wasn't even a doubt in my mind that he could like
Yep.
speak to it. And I was, yeah. So it's just funny that you say that because I'm like, that is Jack. Like, he
Yeah, because
knows, he
he
knows
was
it.
he was on my show recently. Again for I think it was the third
Yeah.
time, and we talked about cosmic clowns, like weird, like or phantom clowns, he calls them. And it's like we got into. I love how he's got all these weird subjects too, like they're out of the norm, and but he knows a lot about it. There's a lot of things
Yes.
to it, and he puts these connections to it, and I kind of put my 2 cents into it after he started making some points where I'm like, oh, I never see it that way, but now I do see it that way, and I have some other things. Again, I love that back and forth with him and other
Yes.
people too, and like
And
yourself.
other people.
Yeah, we're just talking about
Yeah.
Jack. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
just we're just
But
lusting
also,
over
I could
Jack here.
gush about Jack for all day, like
Yeah.
for real. Because yeah, no, I, I do. Everybody go watch his episodes and everything he's on.
Yes. Well, Jack, if you're watching this, you better be jizzing your pants.
And also, I mean, I'm not saying that, but also, um, next year when he does his Paracon, everybody should go. But I'll start
Yes.
talking about that and plugging that like crazy as we get a little closer because I'm
Yes.
obsessed with it.
Yeah, I was once a part of that too a few years ago. I was amazed how he had like 80 vendors.
It's way big. It
I'm
keeps getting
very,
bigger.
very impressed on this
Yeah.
kid. Like, you can't judge a book by its cover.
No,
And once you
it's
get to
like
know
it
that
gets
guy, you fall
bigger
in love
like
with
every
him,
year.
and
Uh-huh.
everybody falls in love with him. That's just
Yeah.
like it's one of those awesome traits that I wish
Mhm.
I had. That I feel like everybody's
Stop.
just very judgmental, and he's just like he just gives you how it is, and just presents himself who he is, and he's just
I
very
adore him.
open and yeah, freaking awesome. And
Mhm.
he knows his shit. That's
Yeah.
another thing too. It's just like yes, 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 yes.
Yeah.
Um,
I
but yeah,
agree.
besides Jack and whatnot, um,
What
yeah.
else?
No, well,
So,
hey, we have the
yeah.
interstellar object that
Okay. So
we're
now we
watching
have to
here.
talk about that. I think we're all caught up in my life and I'll like, of course, post all of it all like crazy. Um, the next thing, let's talk about this interstellar object because
Yes.
so they kept saying like this object, then they were like, so it's definitely a mothership, and I was like, what's weird about this too? Nobody's even that excited.
No.
Because I think like I think we've gotten to that point that we everybody would keep like getting excited about disclosure. They're going to tell us things. They're going to announce. And I think by now, don't we just all accept that there are aliens and just at some point they're showing up? I don't
Yes.
think anybody's even surprised by this at this
And there's other
point.
experts who are saying there's something big happening in 2027.
Okay, sure.
So,
I think we're already just like, yeah, like show up, guys, because
yeah. Either if it's going to be Project Bluebeam or the real shit. Either way, I find it exciting. Because I like to see the government really pull something
so
that
why
big off around the world.
2027? Like why do they think
I
it's
don't know.
2027?
Because I think this is the slow drip of disclosure where, again, like you said, we didn't flinch at this. I think that's
Mm,
what they want. Is not
yeah.
they don't want less reaction once they keep throwing it into your face. It's like they must be laughing themselves. They're like, this is insane. Like we're showing you the real shit, but they're just, you know. But that's what's gonna happen where it's if it is Project Bluebeam or if it's this real deal coming, or again, they've been here since the dawn of time. I mean, the
Hmm.
bottoms of the ocean, underground. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, shit, are you fucking kidding me? There could be cities and under the sea or underground, and again, working with governments of different federations or different. It feels like because there's so many different extraterrestrials visiting Earth where I
Hmm.
feel like there's just a beacon out there where it's just stuff just comes in and out, or interdimensionally, or different parallels with different dimensions that we have. I don't know.
I think they like to
Or
peek in
it could
on
be
us.
all.
I
Or it could
always
be
say,
all of it.
I always love just, and maybe because I watched it young enough, just and just kind of stuck with it. Just even the Star Trek theory, like the Federation theory, like, ugh, they're still very messy right now. They're still very, like, they're just
Sure.
going to blow everybody up. Like, let's just drive by. Let's just peek in. Let's just, ooh, they're not ready for us. I'm like, I think that's us. I think
Yeah,
that's us. We're
and
still,
if anything, if it is, I mean, it looks the stuff that I've seen looks like a mothership, and if it just passes us, that
right?
still is that should still leak into us that we're not alone, and you're just
Yeah.
lucky, and we're just lucky that thing doesn't come down here and say we're gonna fuck you up. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like maybe again, this is a slow drip of disclosure, maybe on their part too, knowing that they just can't give us the whole kick and caboodle, knowing that people will jump off the rooftops, especially the religious folk. You know.
Well, that's okay. So they always said that. Like, there was always kind of that thing, like,
Well,
once
I wouldn't go back to work, so maybe that's one reason.
well, no, but you know what? I think I have finally just accepted in this life. I'm like, you know what? Everything is just crazy anyway. Like, we're just going to keep getting in our car in the morning and facing the horrors of the planet. Like, who knows what's happening, but I got to go to work, Like, we're just expected to keep doing what we're doing. I think I would just be like, wow, damn, and go to work.
Well, you and me both work at a hospital, so I think we both have to go all the
I think I would
time.
just be like,
If you're
well,
working at like a, I don't know, like a painting job or a grocery store, I'm like, fuck
yeah,
that
like
shit.
maybe, like, you know what, maybe I'll stay home,
Like,
but I think I would just be like, well, okay, they need me there. All
yeah.
right, like, what am I gonna do? And I would just go. And so yeah, I think I would just still be like, well, that's the new thing. How many like new things? What like 2020 was the everybody like that was the, every month it was like a new episode. Now here's the killer,
Well,
hornets that
how
are
many
gonna be
people will,
like,
how many people would just hit you up in general just because they want to know more information because they think you know more information because you were right the whole time for all these years of talking
yeah,
about it, right? And you have a following. So I feel like that's where all the skeptic friends of mine will start to come flying my
yeah,
way, like,
they
okay,
probably
what the hell
would.
is really going on? You know this shit for years, you
Yeah,
know.
they probably would. And I'd be like, I don't know. Just this is what they're showing us. But yeah, no. So do you think, like, so when the pictures started coming out that it looked clearly, like it's not a rock,
Yeah.
like
hmm
obviously it's something else. What do you think it is? Like, do you think it is like a ship
Oh
or
yeah, I think it's a ship, especially when Professor Avialope has following this since they discovered this thing. Like he's been keeping the closest eye on it. I I think he's trustworthy because he's been on my show. I think I was very fortunate even to get that guy on here. Like what the he doesn't have no social media, and I was just thankful that my colleague from Germany got his email and was connecting with
That's
him.
awesome.
But
Yeah.
again, to actually get to talk with him and have my face next to his, it was just fucking gnarly. I was,
Yeah,
like what?
it is.
What the fuck? But no, no, when he was talking about Oumuamua and talking about him and his team going down to the Southern Pacific by the Philippines with their boats with giant magnets, collecting reminiscence of a UFO crash, alleged a crash that might have happened, uh, back in 2014, I believe. Um, so yeah, him and his team found some reminiscences of these round spheres, that just didn't have the metals that are very, very rare on Earth, and they're just perfectly round, and then just let's say it was shaped by a machine or some sort of. So again, he had some claims. He was clunking heads with the scientific community, saying this is just rubbish what you found, and this is,
Gotta
so
say that.
again, no, and he's got this whole other thing. He's watching the skies constantly with him and his team in Harvard. Yeah, again, I he he comes with a scientific view first, and if it's really saying that it's not acting like a comet, and it's like getting energy from the sun, or it's collecting, it has its own lights within it, and it's elongated, like cigar shaped. It's
Pretty
just like,
symmetrical.
yeah, it doesn't
Like
have a
it's pretty.
tail. And there's other people who agree with them. There are other scientists. But again, it's just, I don't know. And then again, it kind of got dark after it went around the sun and it's supposed to pop out. I heard mixed reviews where it just went shooting past, or it's still coming to Earth sometime in December or November or some shit. Like, so could this be a
Okay, but if it
setup?
was gonna take that long, like
Sure. Maybe they
then how long?
extraterrestrials know that we know that it's coming. Well, let's pump the brakes a little bit so that people can
Yeah,
soak
I
it in
was
their
like,
minds a
that
little
seems
bit.
like kind of slow then. I don't know. Well, or did they use like the sun like for a slingshot to get going to their next destination and they're not really
That
coming here?
Yeah, or that too. Or again, either way, the fact that we saw it and it's
Yeah.
not a comet, that should just drip disclosure into your fucking brain.
Yeah.
Like, come on, are you fucking kidding me? And even like the mainstream scientist, even if it does pass by, it's like, okay, you're right. It was, look at that thing.
Something.
Yeah, that was something crazy.
Yeah. Well, they were even saying because like the tail or whatever wasn't like a normal tail, wasn't, it was the wrong color,
Hmm.
was so I mean like they're even putting enough information out to be like, hey, so you all know
Sure.
aliens.
And, and the fact that we have Congress since like 2017 coming out talking about UFOs and having meetings with whistleblowers in the military. These are
Mhm.
like people who are trained people to do with their jobs. And then when something comes out of the ocean and doing circles around their shit, it blows their mind. And again, it fucks with them psychologically.
Because
Even
that's
like,
not supposed to be real. You're supposed to not see that,
right.
except you did. Like,
Yeah.
and now, and nobody believes you, or even if and then the ones that do believe you tell you to shut up. Like
Yes.
that's crazy. Okay, so then my next question. So, is there anybody familiar with, whether it's like military seeing it fly out of the ocean or just people that have like studied, I'll say aliens enough, the different kinds, that has tried to say what kind of ship it is? Like that kind of ship is usually, I think
Hmm.
it's this kind of alien. Has anybody
Sure.
like said anything like that? I haven't seen. Like, do we think
There
it's the
is
Greys? Do we
one,
think it's
there's one case that's been showed up in a few cases, and I have photographs of the from Wendell's collection, fortunately. I just made a video about it, and it's connected to that Russian case back in like 89, where a bunch of kids in a playground were just hanging out, and this big UFO sphere comes down and opens up, and this thing with like a round his head. Didn't have a neck. It just had this bulbous head, and it's kind of like robotic, and it scared the shit out of these kids. And then other creatures came out of it, robotic creatures, I should say. And yeah, I think they were showing lights and beams, and some of the adults that were at the park saw this too. and it has a whole interview of the kids talking their experience, and it's really wild. But they had these suits that had this distinctive symbol on it, and it was on the ship too. So
Oh.
I actually have pictures that were taken not in Russia but in Spain of the ship that had the same exact symbol. Maybe I can pull it up here. If I have it. There it
So we think they're like robot-y things with no necks this for that are gonna come.
is. Well, yeah.
It's like to tie it back to like, oh, to like pop culture, that feels very Dalek-ness, like
Hmm.
very,
So
very,
these things were adorned with these symbol and on their ship, and then this was taken in 1966. So before that incident happened, and I have other photographs that have the same exact symbol sideways. But if you had it in hand, you can actually see it. Same
yeah.
symbols, and this one taken in from different time periods and different places.
Huh.
Yeah.
So
So that's again, that's one race of beings that's been caught on cameras in different
that's
countries.
been kind of visiting, like that's
Yeah.
been interested. So maybe they are kind of interested, whatever whatever they are.
Well, again, I think it's the Disneyland of the galaxy when it comes
Yeah.
to Earth. Just again, there's something here, or they've been here since the dawn of time. Like this whole Disneyland of shit has been here, and I don't know if you know much about Iceland. They have this. I talked to this woman who's a native there, and she tells me there's more than half the population in Iceland believes that there's a parallel universe, a thin layer of this, where these elves that are like human, like the ones that you see in the Lord of the Rings, very clean
Yeah.
cut, blonde, blue hair, and blind, or blue eyes and blonde hair, and they live side by side with them. Even the government takes it
Oh,
seriously enough where they won't build roads or move rocks or anything without gaining the permission of the elves first. So I'm like,
okay.
what the
So
fuck does that mean? Do you
hold
have
on
like
though.
a
Time out. Like, so, okay. Okay. I've heard of this before. This is not a new concept. I didn't realize. When I thought we were talking about elves, I thought we were talking about like fairies,
Mm,
like they're,
mm-mm.
I didn't realize. I always knew about like the
I thought it
asking
was
for
I always thought it
permission.
was hmm
And I thought
I
they
thought
were
they were
like
tiny little things. Mm-mm.
little guys over there. Like, don't disturb their like little spot. Like, it's just a parallel right there, full size.
Yeah, full
I never
size
knew that.
humans. They and guess what? This woman, her name's Rona, and she tells me that the locals have sexual relationships with the elves, and sometimes they'll just
Oh,
disappear. So there's missing people on Iceland that just
okay.
end
So
up
that
just
would have been weird if they were elves.
yeah, exactly right. But you might be getting they have the dwarfs there, so those
Okay.
are more
No,
smaller people.
I think in
They
my
actually
mind
make
they were just
weapons for the
fairies.
gods and stuff there.
I think they were just fairies, is what I thought. And I thought they were
Sure.
just cute little things that they asked for permission. I
No.
never pictured them as like full size.
And there's stories of people who like said that's bullshit stories and fairy tales and started like moving rocks and building roads. People have died, gotten sick, machinery
I've,
broke, and
yes,
the rocks be taken back and put in the spot they were placed once before. Yeah, again, like this, what the fuck? So it makes you wonder if there's like a Men in Black exchange or someone goes from the government between the parallel universe just to let you know, like, hey, we need to move some rocks. Is that okay? If it's not
so
okay,
what do they say they do? Like, I guess I've always known they've asked for permission or they this or that, but I think when I thought they were fairies, they were just like, "Hey, here's a little muffin. Is it okay?" And then they would do it. What do
hmm
they do? Like, what do they say they, or what do people think they do?
they've been there since the dawn of time. Like this, they have a long
No, but
culture
like
with
for
the.
permission, how do you ask for permission?
That's what I'm
They don't
guessing.
know?
A lot of the locals don't know. I'm guessing if I was the government, it must be somebody that goes to the cove or somewhere they
Yeah.
know where the hot spot is, or do they actually go old school with it with a glass bottle with a message in it and throw it near the cove? You're like,
Or is there like a wormhole that like maybe only
yeah.
some people can access? Like
If you go to Iceland, a lot of the locals will tell you, do not throw rocks on the island because you might hit one of the interdimensional beings and they will kidnap you and they'll tie you to a tree and throw rocks at your ass. I was like, shit, for real?
so like okay, so it's totally like normal enough, say if
It's
you're just
super
like in the
normal.
Midwest. Well, in the Midwest, you think about fairies, you talk about fairies and you say like you be careful, like don't make a deal with the fairy, give gifts, don't, this and that. Stuff like that is normal. And I
Hmm.
think I always like again, I always think they're like little and but you go into like a different dimension, and they
Hmm.
still could do that. So it's interesting in Iceland, it's the same, not that different, except they're full size and like it's just really right there. Whereas I think like we picture, yes,
I
you'll slip
think,
into this
well,
other thing.
I think almost like the North American version, I can only imagine what you're kind of talking about is the pug wedgie. And then we have the Native Americans talking about the pug wedgies,
Maybe
being a real
closer to
creature
that,
that ran
maybe.
around.
Yeah, that
Sure.
I think that's probably closer to like what I would, but I mean,
Because,
maybe Iceland has it right and we just think of it differently.
well, I like how they have a whole different aspect and respect. Like these are like living people that they just respect and like won't tread
But they
upon.
just don't see, like you just don't see them, but that's okay.
Well, you can. They come
Well,
over and then
but
they
not all the
actually
time.
take you, not all the time. Or like if you go to a certain spot and they actually will interact with humans or they will have sexual interactions if they fell in love with each other. And there's been stories of modern day like people disappearing from the island because they just maybe wrote a letter to their parents saying, "I found my love. That's an elf. What the fuck?" And then gone. I mean, again, I can only imagine how much more beautiful that
You,
land is than our
it's probably
land.
way better. Do
Oh
they
yeah,
know when they meet an elf in Iceland? Do they know that it is an elf?
oh yeah, for
Like they
sure.
know.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it probably like moves with
Interesting.
grace and has a shiny white platinum blonde hair.
Just, just better. Just better.
Like, hey, maybe
Um,
here. I think it's like this kind of guy here. I can probably pull him up. Something like, yeah, that guy. Like, hey, what's up?
and that's, yeah, no, I think they probably just, yeah. And if you could just like slip into their land and everything is wonderful, yeah, that sounds delightful. Like,
And you know what's really weird? I've interviewed a handful of women from Australia, and a lot of them are like star seeds or claim to have seen UFOs or have been abducted. And they all have sexual stories of having with human-like ETs, blonde hair. I was like, what's up with? And I always mention that too. I was like, each interview, I was like, you know what? I had another woman that interviewed me from Australia and told me this shit too. And there's a guy, Peter Curry. I don't know if you know that guy. Yeah.
no. It
Oh.
sounds familiar, but I don't know him. Like,
Well,
I don't know, no.
let me a little quick recap. So Peter Curry was
Yeah.
sleeping. He's from Sydney, Australia, and he was sleeping in bed, and it was about 7:30 in the morning, and he felt like a cat jumped onto the bed, and he's like, "I don't want a cat." And he opens his eyes, and he notices he's being straddled by a milky white, beautiful woman with white hair, and he's just like, "What the fuck is going on?" And he notices another naked woman sitting in the bed watching. And he's got freaked out and he starts to get up. He's like, "What the fuck is going on?" And this woman cups the back of his head, pulls her into his breast. He freaks out even more, bites into her, and just to get her off. And he hears voices in his head like, "He's doing this wrong. This is going wrong." They both like are looking at each other with their mouths not moving, and they disappear out of thin air. And he's like, "What the fuck?" And he noticed that he had a boner. It was excruciating for 6 hours. And he noticed there was something wrapped around his penis, like it was a hair. And he had to take a tweezers and unravel this hair. And once he did it, it relieved his erection. So it's like, what the fuck was that? So this guy has the holy grail of ET DNA with this
So
hair. And
yeah, I was gonna say, did he do something with this
he
hair
did.
then?
He got it tested by scientists and found out there's weird genetics with like Neanderthal shit to like Chinese to like all different races on Earth. And The fact that it's white hair didn't need like the sun much for where it was from. I don't know. Really bizarre.
Interesting.
And then he took a lie detector test and he passed with flying colors. So it's just like,
Interesting, because I'm like, what a story.
yeah.
Like, what a story. If you're to make it up, how weird. And like, but
Well,
if
is there
you're,
a
but
sex breeding
also,
program in Australia? What the fuck is going
also
on?
like crazy if it's a story that you like actually had happened. Like, that's wild too. What an interesting. But then if you have this hair that nobody could like say what it is, that's interesting
Well, I
too. And then,
did.
yeah, what's going on in Australia
Yeah, what the
then?
fuck is going on in Australia? Down under, apparently.
I
Yeah, I
Good
don't know.
questions. Yeah, I'd be curious, I suppose. Or conversely, or is that happening everywhere? But just in Australia, they're a little bit less less conservative, maybe. A little more likely to say, hey, here's what happened.
Yeah,
And maybe like in America, we're like, shh,
sure.
don't tell.
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody about this. But in Australia, they're like, hey,
Well,
it's
the
another
fact that
Saturday night.
I didn't bring up any of those subjects at the same time, so I'm like, well, do tell.
Yeah, no, that's so interesting. Yeah, I wonder if there's like a cultural, like, just they're more comfortable, or if there's something happening in Australia.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe it's that sex and coffee, what they do in in Norway. You ever heard of that? It's a it's the form of dating in Norway where
Okay.
they meet each other, have sex, and if the sex is good, they go out and have coffee or dinner or lunch
Then
or
they go talk to each other.
yeah, because if
Interesting.
it's yeah, it's like you get to know somebody, you like them, then you get in bed and it's just like and it kind of just
Well,
ruins it everything, and it's just like oh fuck, I'm stuck with this guy.
I
I'm
mean,
stuck with this girl. You know what I'm saying?
if that's like the established dating rule,
Yeah, I'm like,
I
Norway sounds pretty dope.
no, that's actually interesting because yeah, like it's always funny, for whatever reason when people are dating, it could be anything, any type of incompatibility. People once already dating for a little while, they're like, but I'm not gonna go anywhere. I'm like, why? Like you're gonna invest the rest of your life into like
Well,
stuff that
exactly.
doesn't
And then
work? Like
exactly. And then like I think it's a lot cheaper too on the dollar. Like
yes.
it's shit. Like you have to
You
pay for
don't even have to buy
all these
coffee.
dates and you have sex finally and it just sucks. It's like, well, we could have got that shit out of the way a long time
Yeah,
ago.
you don't even have to pay for coffee.
Yeah, like that.
So that's like, if that's the dating norm, then I guess
Yeah.
it's the dating norm.
Yeah. No,
And
I
then,
just
so
find
I
that
guess
very
that's
interesting.
in Australia, that's what they do with aliens.
Yeah.
We don't even know if the aliens could have
They
coffee.
might have a
So
dating
they're
app
just
down there or
skipping
something.
right ahead. Like, just skip ahead. Hey, I'm open to it, aliens. But yeah, no, and that's in Australia, they are, I guess. And somebody in Australia is going to be like, no. And I am forever hated. That is not what we do in Australia. We don't have sex with aliens.
Yeah.
I'll be like, that's what I was told. Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, you have a lot of stories. But no, it's very interesting. No, we have well again, it's just been in our history since the dawn of time too. Like the gods have been mating with humans, creating giants and other forms of life, and
Well,
it's
isn't
just
that the
beautiful
premise of like the
poetry.
Rh negative blood? Like that's supposed to be that you're all
Sure.
alien babies.
Or the junk DNA that we all have that we just don't
Yeah,
understand, you know? Hmm.
that's all just supposed to be a thing. And I think we accept that too, like the Rh negative thing. I think at once, somebody was like, that's alien DNA, and everyone was like, okay. Nobody's upset by it, and everyone just accepts it. They really could tell us anything right now, and we'd go, sounds about right. Like,
Yeah, right.
cool. And we would just go right along with it. And I think, yeah, there probably is that diversity, that we didn't necessarily design, that was designed for us. So, yeah, I think so. And that is the story of like meeting with the gods and having this baby and all of this. I think that is the story of that all along.
Yeah, and
And the
then
gods are the aliens.
yeah, again, like, and I love how all these ancient stories have all these connections with like the Greek gods too, of like Prometheus and the fire, kind of stems kind of the same story of Lucifer coming down and
Yeah.
spreading knowledge to us because we wouldn't know shit. We'd just be a bunch of crazy monkeys that God would just dispose of later if if he didn't
Yeah.
like. And God started to get jealous of us when we started building the Tower of Babel, right? We got too
Yeah.
damn close to him. He's like, God damn it! All right, when they fall asleep, I'm gonna make them all like not know the same language and hate each other. And
And we
then,
still do.
yeah, we
But
still
yeah,
do.
no,
Look
and
at
that's
that.
why too, like all of these things, sometimes I'm like, why do we sometimes it's the chaos of the world, right? That you're like, well, nothing else can happen, so like whatever, nothing's gonna surprise me. But also it's all of the stories, like, I even just as I reference, like, well, I like the Star Trek lore, I could go with that. But it goes back so much further into all of the ancient gods that we spent our whole lives learning about and, generations after generations that these are the stories. So why would it surprise us that they're coming or they're here? Because these are the stories. Why would it surprise us to find out some of us are a bit alien? Well, that seems about right. Like that seems like what it should be because we've been taught for so long. So why would any of us be surprised by any of it? Like,
Yeah,
how could anybody say this doesn't exist? We've been learning about it our whole lives.
yeah. And the fact that we have pyramids all around the world
That
and all different
too.
time periods and different, again, so again, how did ancient men just gonna start creating the same exact thing? So there's
Uh-huh.
different styles of temples they could have all done differently, but they don't. It's all somewhat similar. It's even kind of like us and Russians with the space rockets. Like
Mhm.
they look alike, but they're a tad bit different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They still work and function the same way, but
Just little different
just
visitors, like
yeah, just
inspiring things.
yes, really crazy.
Yeah,
And I
I
like
like
how
that.
the Russians too call themselves cosmonauts because they believe they're going back to the stars where they once came. And it's even like so poetic and like
Yeah,
the fact that we're being space worthy creatures, you know what I'm saying? Like what the fuck?
like because we just are. Like
Yeah.
it's just a matter of going back. I agree.
So gnarly. Would you go back? Would you go to like if you got go to trip to like Mars? Would you want like a trip home eventually, or would you do like the whole just do it
See, no,
one?
my husband and I used to talk about this all the time. He's like, I would go. He probably still would. Like, I think he would, the adventure of it all and just to get to do that. I think he would be very comfortable with that. And like still, and like I'm always like, am I offended that he said that? Or am I like, no, I get it, because that's who you are. I'm always a little, always a little in between because he's like, no, I would just go. If he could. We haven't even talked about this lately though. I don't think I would because I I got a lot to do. I'm having fun
Yeah.
here. Like I don't feel the need. And I think that's part of it too. Like, aside from, I mean, we could say family, like, oh, I don't want to be away from my kids. Like, those are the easy answers. So I'm not even saying that. Like, I
Sure.
think I'm just still having a really good time here. And to go, because you're pretty much, I mean, I mean, I don't know, are we assuming we're cutting out time? Like, are we going at
Well, it's
warp speed?
maybe
Like,
like remember the movie Wall-E? How like the Earth just got overpopulated with trash, so the people
yeah,
had to like live in a
yes.
space station up top and shit, and got all fat. That's amazing. That's so funny.
I think I'd be willing to like go to a space station. Like, is that just, I think I would have to be, is that my life now? Like, I don't think I
Sure.
need to be like an early, I'm going to go to Mars and like help terraform it. That's not, I'm good. I'm very happy where I am. I don't need to go do
It's
that.
straight
That'd
up
be
like
cool.
Adam and Eve type shit. You'd be fucking
Yeah.
everybody in that
Like,
motherfucker.
I don't need that. Like, that's,
No.
I'm too old for that. Like, no, thank you. I'm having a good time. I would not want to do a thing that I don't come back because that
Yeah.
would not be satisfying enough for me. And again, I'm going to take out of the equation like, well, my family, I'm not even saying that, but it's just my whole life. There's more to do here. I don't think I would be, I don't think it would be enough of a benefit to like trade all of that, like whether for
Sure.
myself or for humanity.
I heard we age a lot slower in space too,
They
especially
do say that, but you know what there is? Like in the meantime, there's filler and Botox, so I can like age a little slower with that too here.
There's that lotion too that you can put
And
under your eyes and just
yeah, there's retinol we could do. So I don't need, space flight to age slower.
hmm
So yeah, no, I think for me it's not my jam, but if life became we go to a space station, that's fine. I would be all about that. Like, a good orbiting space station that we can like live a whole world. Absolutely. That would be
yeah.
great. I
And I
don't
love that.
need to be terrestrial.
I love NASA's early drawings of like space stations in space, or even like bases on the moon of how that would look. We probably wouldn't bring any materials with us, but we'd use the materials there, like going underground into the moon or other planets, and kind of like having these domes, or even talking about having robots go there first, building stuff
That'd be really
for
cool.
us before we got there. But again, just yeah, I think the trip would be this the most gnarly part. I mean, unless like the spaceship is super spacious, where you can walk around like a cruise
See,
ship or
and
something.
that I think is okay. Like I
You're
just to
all
get to the
tied up in this
moon,
shit, like, oh fuck.
because how long is it to get to the moon? I don't even know. How
I
long
don't
is it to
know.
get there? I don't know.
Seems.
That's probably a really easily Googleable question, but I think I could do that. Like I think so you just think of it like a long flight. You're just kind of like in there
hmm
for a long flight.
hmm
I could do that. If it's like a flight, I could do that. Like if that's where we just like live now is like on the moon base and there's like a functioning, even like if it's little society, that I could do. I just don't need to
hmm
be like the pioneering person for any of it. Like I don't know, that's not in me. I don't have that in me. And I'm not trying to leave like my existence, but I think I would be very happy in
And then
space.
there's the whole theory about the secret space program since like what, the 70s, having these people, military people out in space doing missions and interacting with extraterrestrials, fighting extraterrestrials, having the 20-year and back, and like that whole wormhole shit is, I mean, that's pretty wild, right? To
How
think that
much do you think
we have the
like
technology to do that if we
Like,
did.
I'm just thinking, how much do you think even like, say, TV shows and stuff are
Mhm.
part of like long-term disclosure? So, like you say, wormholes and going and fighting. Well, that's
Sure.
totally Stargate, like you're just
Yeah.
describing that. Like, so because of watching these shows, and even like whether it's Doctor Who or, because I mentioned the Daleks earlier, whether it's Doctor Who or Stargate or Star Trek or Star Wars is like my least favorite of all of it, but like so out of all of those, how much of that, it's the same thing though when we talk about like vampires and ghosts. You're like, for
hmm
vampires, you're like, okay, what mythology are we going with? Are we going with the Buffy rules? All right, so
I
same thing
love
like with
Buffy.
aliens, right? Like, and so you're like, okay, now I know what we're talking about, and I know the vampire rules because we're going with the Buffy rules, but same thing with aliens, like as you describe things like, say, a little bit of Atlantis, a little bit of Star Trek, whatever, or well, Stargate Atlantis, a little bit of just regular Stargate. And Stargate does such a good job, like bringing in the old gods, right? And like integrating that perfectly. So you're like, this is all very believable. How much of that do you think is a deliberate, like its own part of disclosure plot? Because how familiar with all of that are plenty of us, not everybody's cool enough to watch these shows, but like they could come up and tell me like stuff that's like based on the Stargate lore, and I'd be like, "Yep, that's about right." And you
hmm
tell me that's all real, and I'd be like, "Sure, that
Yeah.
Anubis is rough. I hope somebody beats him." Like we would just kind of go along with it, and then is that deliberate to get people comfortable? Because like, tell me enough lore, and I'm like, okay, that all seems about right.
I wonder what kind of lore those people got when they were signing up for Heaven's Gate.
Well, they have their own lore to follow.
And
Um,
that's still
but
around. You know
Or
that?
did they, it is, their website's still up, or did they like
Yeah.
free up their bodies and they're like, joke's on y'all. It's a good time
Uh,
here. We're on the ship. We don't know.
mm,
Their bodies stayed here. That was always what was going to happen. And
yeah.
here they're gone now
Yeah.
because they're on their ship.
Again, that's just an interesting case and bizarre how they were all like, how they all died like that.
I mean, but that was the plan because they were going to go do this thing. So what if they are on the ship? Like, what if it worked? We would never know.
We would never know.
Unless, what
Why'd
if
they
they're
stop here
on?
and see what's up?
What if they're on that ship? Like, what if that's their ship?
Oh, there we go.
Damn. Like, what if they're like, we told you guys, and that's where we've been? Like, what if?
I'm surprised there's another mass suicide to catch their ride out there.
That's well, I mean, because they left the website up, but they didn't keep recruiting actively enough.
Yeah, sure.
But they,
Yeah,
like, but what if? Like, what if they pass their ship passed by once and it's passing by again, and they're all going to tell us, you are all stupid and you should have gone along with it. We knew what was up. It's been
yeah.
a great time out here.
I don't think I can kill myself with these hands though. I'm too pretty. I like my life.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I wouldn't go to Mars. I like my life. Like, I
Yeah,
wouldn't, somebody else can. I'm good. Like, it
yeah,
would, the benefits, there are no benefits that would like outweigh, I think, what I feel like I would not have anymore.
yeah. That's awesome. Well, hey, we're gonna roll it up here. That was so awesome, Kara.
It was. This is super fun.
I
I
haven't
love
seen you in
catching up.
forever. Yeah, that was so dope, and I'm super excited to get this out because this is so much fun. This is a
Yeah.
great talk, and I just love your enthusiasm, and you're so knowledgeable. And yeah, I think next time let's plan on getting Jackie Boy with
Yeah.
us.
Let's all do
Yeah,
it together.
let's do it
Yes.
together.
Yes. I agree.
Sweet.
I'll be here for it.
But stick with me for 2 more minutes.
I'm here.